Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have some kind of disturbing news to report. In late night rants, proving that he's petrified of being arrested, Trump dehumanized the Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg. As you all know, Alvin Bragg is likely to bring the first charges against Trump, most likely at the beginning of next week. So Trump called him an, quote, animal and a, quote, degenerate psychopath, among other things. Trump also shared a photo of himself holding a baseball bat next to a photo of Bragg's head. And then he threatened that if Bragg actually dared to indict him, there will be, quote, death and destruction in our country. Just as we all predicted, he incited terrorism against Bragg in his office. Multiple news outlets have now reported that suspicious white powder was found in an envelope at the Manhattan District Attorney's office today. The letter was postmarked on Tuesday, the day that Trump said that he was going to be arrested, and the authorities say that it was mailed from Orlando, Florida. So NBC News is reporting that the envelope was discovered in the mailroom, and it contained a note that said, all in caps, quote, Alvin, I am going to kill you. And then about 10 exclamation points. So the powder was tested. Luckily, they found out it wasn't a dangerous substance. But, this could be just the tip of the iceberg with Trump's terrorists. And earlier this week, Rolling Stone magazine reported that according to law enforcement documents that they've been able to obtain, Trump supporters are, quote, advocating lethal attacks and proclaiming their willingness to die for the cause. They say that the Capitol Police and other law enforcement agencies are reporting an increase in threats due to Donald Trump's alleged upcoming indictment. And various agencies have been circulating warnings. And one agency said that extremists see Trump's arrest as a, quote, red line in the sand. And they say that the online threats started to tick up immediately after Trump issued his Truth Social post calling for his supporters to protest. Some Trump supporters are posting threats and making references to January 6th. They're intimating that it'll be even worse, or things like January 6th plus guns. And some of the threats have been very specific. According to this report, people are, of course, as we saw today, threatening to kill the Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, also his prosecutors. There's threats against Stormy Daniels. Others are making general threats about, killing the police, government officials, journalists. One notable threat was made by infamous shit stirrer and convicted felon Ali Alexander in a tweet on Tuesday, after he said, as I shared with you guys earlier this week, after he said he wouldn't personally take part in the protests for Trump, Alexander wrote, quote, any cop who betrays the people for politicians is a traitor and will be dealt with at a later date accordingly, making threats toward the police. Smart move. I really cannot wait for him to end up in prison. There's also been talk about bombing the courthouse. A bomb threat was actually called into the Manhattan Civil Courthouse on Tuesday, so the whole courthouse had to shut down. And the Federal Highway Administration circulated warnings about threats to shut down highways, roads, and bridges. Their memo stated, quote, tactics mentioned included using dump trucks to drop a few tons of gravel on 6 bridges in hopes of making them unusable, thereby causing a serious hit to food and economic deliveries in and out of New York. These people are terrorists. They are domestic terrorists. But with all of this talk, all of these threats, the actual turnout at the protests have been pretty embarrassing. The New York Young Republican Club held a protest that was on Monday, and reporters say there were more reporters there than protesters. Only about 50 people showed up, and the president of that group is named Gavin Wax. He tried to tell a reporter that, they meant to do that. I meant to do that. He's like Pee-wee nosediving off of his bike. He said they wanted it to be a small gathering. They wanted it to be, quote, low key. Okay. But then other people who were there said that they were disappointed in the numbers. And a lot of Trump supporters are now blaming the fear of being arrested or being, quote, entrapped They say they don't want to get entrapped by the authorities. And a Daily Beast reporter said that protesters standing outside of Trump Tower have now started accusing each other of being undercover feds. And when a right-wing YouTuber asked his followers, he has like 200,000 followers on Truth Social, he asked, quote, "Is the potential protest against Trump being arrested a J6 style trap?" 85% of respondents said yes. So I think it's clear Trump has screwed himself. Trump and his allies have completely screwed him because they work so hard to convince the MAGA base that everything is a setup. Everything is the deep state. Everything is coordinated by the Democrats. So now when he needs his supporters most, the vast majority are like, nope, not going. I'm sitting this one out. Because they're afraid. They're afraid this is all a deep state setup by the Democrats, orchestrated by the Democrats. But that's not the only way he screwed himself. A bunch of people are saying online that Trump left the January 6th defendants hanging. So they're saying, why should we step up for him? One person pointed out that Trump has never called for a protest for the January 6th defendants, which is true. But now that his ass is on the line, he wants everybody out. He wants everybody marching, protesting, whatever, right? This screws Trump in another way, too. The more logical, sane Trump supporters are sitting this one out. But the more unhinged, radical, extremist Trump supporters, they're still willing to stick their necks out for him. So the reaction to his indictment or his potential indictment, it's definitely going to be more severe, more potentially extreme and violent. I mean, I'm not sure that Trump really cares about that last point. I mean, stochastic terrorist gonna stochastic terrorist, right? He doesn't care if anybody gets hurt. He doesn't care if people die. I mean, he proved that on January 6th when he flat out refused to do anything to stop them at the Capitol or to call in any troops, refused to pick up the phone, according to his own White House employees. He's a sick person. He is a sick, sadistic, sociopathic person. And these posts on Trump's account are definitely going to be used against him in all of those lawsuits brought by the police, brought by members of Congress saying that he put their lives in danger on January 6th. He is just handing them so much evidence against him to say, see, he said that he didn't incite violence on January 6th, but he's doing it again. He's doing it in this instance. He put out the tweets. You've got people sending in envelopes filled with white powder and making death threats against the Manhattan district attorney who hasn't even prosecuted him yet, who hasn't even indicted him yet. He is just his own worst enemy. And then we've got right-wingers out there. Oh, no, you can't arrest him. No, this is horrible for the country. No, not arresting him would be horrible for the country. It teaches him and every other sociopath out there that depending on who you are, you can get away with it. That's why his insurrectionists were at the Capitol, because they saw him year after year after year getting away with everything. And they thought that that extended to them as well. They found out that that was wrong, but they thought so on January 6th. They thought Daddy Trump would make it all go away. He would protect them. They believed him, stupidly, But now you have these Republicans who are out there literally, I mean, possibly committing their own crimes in obstructing justice, threatening to investigate Alvin Bragg, threatening the Manhattan DA themselves in their own way. And that these Republicans really don't like Trump. I mean, there's a few who are psychos, some true MAGA heads like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Jim Jordan, they're all in. They love Trump. But there are so many other Republicans who are out there sticking their neck out for him right now, committing their own crimes potentially, who really don't like him, who really hope that he is taken down, that he is arrested, that he is gone forever and out of their party. So they're just out there playing a part for the camera and for the base. It's sick. It's truly sick. But yeah, here we are, guys, and everybody's saying, oh, Trump doesn't care. Oh, he's joking about taking a perp walk. And should I smile for the camera? He's terrified. He is the biggest baby ever. He is absolutely terrified. That is why his daddy kept him out of the military and lied about bone spurs. The guy is such a wimp. He is such a beta pretending to be an alpha. It's pathetic. I mean, if he wasn't afraid, he wouldn't be putting out these incriminating truths, these incriminating posts on his social media site. He would just be quiet, be like, yeah, do whatever you want. I know I don't have anything to worry about. I know I didn't do anything wrong. Instead, he's freaking the fuck out in the middle of the night. Tells you everything you need to know. So this is who he is. He is a danger to society. He needs to be locked up for the rest of his miserable life. All right, guys. If I hear any more, I'll let you know. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.